All right, what's good, guys? It's your boy John Tran. Got my boy
Gabriel Arambula. What's up, y'all?
Gabriel Arambula in the house.
Yep.
We got our first podcast today. We're just gonna go off the cuff. We're gonna be full authenticity, just pure non-scripted. We're just gonna rip that shit. All right,
That's
so
it. Like when you're skating, grip it and rip it.
Like that's right. Like grip it and rip it, like you're skating. All right, let's start off. Gabe, tell us a little bit about yourself. Why you're here, who you are, what drives you to do more than what most won't do.
You know, that's a great question. That's a big question. And there's a long answer to it. But I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. We're here on this earth for a short time. And I firmly believe we should do our best to maximize every opportunity and be of service to mankind.
All right, you guys know how we are. You know, we fuck around, we joke around.
But we on business.
Talk shit, but we on business. We talk about real shit.
Right? And we talk about what we are about.
That's right. That's right. We live it, right? Like Gabe, as Gabe was saying, you know, he's, you know, driven, does more than what most don't do because, right? You mentioned we have such a short time on this world, right? We have such a short time. Why not maximize it? Right, I'm not sure if you were done with what you were sharing.
I kind of am because I'll tell you what, this whole podcast and anything that we put out there, it really is going to be a culmination of answering that question, you know. And from a professional perspective, professionally, I've been in real estate lending since about 2003. That's when I became a loan officer. Right, so do the math. Whenever you're listening to this.
Oh yeah, long time. Over 2 decades.
Kind of like She Loved Me Long Time.
Like She Loved You Long Time.
Yeah, that's right, Ling Ling.
Like something wrong.
Nothing wrong here.
Something not wrong.
Nothing wrong here if you love me. Love we waity.
That's right. All right, listen guys. But yeah, 100% agree with Gabe. Like listen, like I'm very young, you know, 25 years old. You know, when 2020 happened, that made me realize a lot that we can't just work a normal job. You know, we can't just sit on the sidelines and just settle for being average. Because think about it, our parents, they work so hard to provide a good life for us. Like the least we can do is maximize our life, do every single thing we can, and just fucking like do more than others, right? Like wake up, take care of yourself, do your personal development, read your books, learn every single day, take the action, right? And just make a fuck ton of money. But money isn't the end, is what money does for you, right? Help you maximize your potential.
Now, hey, real quick, I think it bears mentioning how we know each other. You know, origin story, if you will, right? And, you know, I could dip into that a little bit and then, you know, you could elaborate a little, but we go back how long, John?
Yeah, been a minute, bro. Been 7 years. Back in 2018.
Man, it's been 7 years, dude.
2018, bro. But yeah, man, Gabe and I met when we worked.
Yeah, where did we meet at? Yep.
It was in the wireless industry. I worked at T-Mobile, a retail sales. I was a sales associate. He came through as a district manager, and yeah, man, we just connected because we were doing more than others. We had a different mindset.
But let me say this, though, and this is to your credit. You showed a hunger to grow. You were eager, right? A sponge, if you will, at that time when we linked up. When I was your district manager, anytime I was in the store, just like communicating, like you're always receptive, man. And the thing that really stands out is your development journey from then up until now. And, you know, I think it's really impressive to see that growth. You know, although we stayed in light communication,
you can go
I was looking from a distance, but now working shoulder to shoulder with you, like in the trenches again.
Yes,
now elevated after you've developed these many years, bro. It's literally explosive. And you know, the conversations that we'll have on these car rides, you know, when we're going to the office, when we're going to meetings, when we're in the office, whether it's audio, video, whatever the case may be, it really is going to be something new and something dynamic every time, because both you and I right now are at a new level of growth and pursuing a new business vertical in wholesale lending, and working for a wholesale lender, in having the capital to fund your non-QM loans, your business purpose loans, but also having access to fund agency loans gives us exposure to a whole new level of real estate lending versus our combined knowledge and experience, which begs a question. So how did you end up getting involved in real estate? Because before we linked up in the wholesale banking world, you were in real estate doing what? Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So my journey into real estate was interesting, right? Because that wasn't my first business that I got into. So a little backstory, right? So in 2020, when the whole pandemic happened, everyone got laid off. We had a lot of time, right? So I started, okay, like what do I do now? I have no job. I have all this time. So I decided to get into e-commerce, right? My friend, it's funny, Kyle Pham, he actually worked at T-Mobile. He's the one that introduced me to e-commerce, the entrepreneurial world.
Yeah.
And then from there, of course, me being new, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Sure. So of course I failed that business.
Well, in anything else, and then that's okay.
So anything else, right? And then from there, I got into real estate. I started learning about like investing on YouTube, just like reading books on real estate, and I just took action. I saw a video on wholesale, just watched a bunch of videos on that, learning A to Z, and then I just took action, right? I bought my own list of distressed property owners, and then just started dialing. Like that was my first time ever cold calling, and then fast forward, I started making, started working for a company where I was able to make 6 figures in the wholesale industry for real estate.
Real quick, just going back to the beginning of you, but like buying that list, making those calls. Were you an instant success?
Oh, absolutely not. It was.
Yeah, tell us about that.
When I was doing it myself, I was doing it for over 6 months, and it was just nonstop grinding, cold calling, messing up, failing, making mistakes, and I just couldn't figure it out. It couldn't click, because I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have like somebody that I can ask questions about the nuances of like real estate wholesale, like what happens when you can't find a buyer. Like how do you run numbers on a property correctly, right? How do you run numbers like a fix and flipper?
Well, let's go into that, because that's you would think that you wouldn't have a problem finding a buyer, because the fact that if the numbers are right, who doesn't want to buy a piece of real estate? So tell us about that. Like, what do you do when you can't find a buyer? What does that look like?
Exactly. So if you can't find a buyer, there's a couple of things, right? Number one, it means that there's probably not a market for those kind of buyers. Maybe you've got a property in like a rural area and there's not a lot of flipper activity, right? There might be like long-term rentals, but not a lot of people want to live in rural.
Yeah.
There are some, but it's not too many.
Yes.
Right? And number two, my numbers were just off, right? There wasn't enough spread for the investor to make money. Like he was going to be over leveraged, going to put way too much in renovations.
So you'd be able to find the deals, but in the instances where you couldn't find a buyer, it was typically because like margins were too thin.
Oh yeah, margins too thin. Maybe
not enough meat on the bone.
Oh,
now, looking back, hindsight's 20/20, as they say. Looking back, what would you change in order to ensure that your highest and best use of time is focused on more productive business chase, if you will?
That's a great question. So the thing that I would change, especially for, starting out, let's say someone new, they want to get into real estate wholesaling, I would say, number one, have a clear vision for yourself, right? Have a clear vision, and whatever business you do, not just wholesale, you want to fully commit to it for the long game, right? Because nowadays, so many people, they think they can just make quick money after a few months, and then when they don't, they quit, and then they go to another business. But the successful ones, they are consistent for a long period of time, right? And what I also mentioned is have a mentor, right? Like, again, fully commit to the business, have a mentor so you can skip, so you can avoid the mistakes early on, and you can also fast track your success too, right? Right when I had a mentor, that's where I started getting multiple sales, getting multiple properties under contract, running numbers properly, knowing how to run comps, knowing how to talk to investors, and it's been incredible.
Was there what are like 1 to 3 things, or maybe even just one thing that you want to expound on that you learned from your mentor at that point in your career?
I will say 1, 2, 3 things.
Or one thing that stands out, or the first hurdle.
I will say just add value, right? Like, you want to, when you're on a call with a homeowner, right? They're selling the property for a reason. They have a problem. Like, you want to be the person that stands out from the crowd, and not just look at it as a transaction. You want to look at it as a relationship, right? You want to look at it as a relationship, and also how you can provide value to them, like how you can give to them and go above and beyond instead of just taking, right? And when you have that intention, the person on the other line, they feel that, they see you're genuine, and they're going to want to work with you, even if they sell their house to you at a lower price than other wholesalers, right? That's the main thing that I would say.
That relationship is there.
The relationship, man. Just like, not just wholesale, but anything in general, right? Go from transaction to relationship, which is key. But yeah, other than that, guys, I want to wrap it up for now. Let's do a few last points from Gabe. What you got, Gabe, for the viewers?
The last thing I'd say is this: one, stay tuned, participate, engage. We want to hear questions. And also, if we say anything that pertaining to the trade that anyone is questioning or sounds inaccurate, please let us know. We want to make sure, again, we're not giving anyone any legal, financial advice or anything of that nature. We're just talking.
Oh yeah.
Having conversations. But, when it comes down to digging into lending guidelines and real estate law and things of that nature, we can find those answers. And we want to, like John said, add value. This is not for us and our own ego, but it does help our egos.
100%.
100%. But we also, again, we want to add value to the community out there in this world for as long as we're here.
I agree. Love it. And yeah, a key point for me, I would say, 100% agree with Gabe. Like, all we want to do is add value. Add value, give to you guys, because that we are actually benefiting as well, right? Because we can stay, we can stay sharp, we can stay knowledgeable, we can stay, like, the way you retain something is by teaching. That's how you learn as well.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Other than that, guys, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. So, any questions you have, let us know, and stay tuned for tomorrow's episode. Maybe a little choppy for now, but bear with it. It's only going to get better from here. So,
that's
all
right.
right, peace, guys.
Peace out.